then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After an amazing finish at Talladega, we moved to the last great Coliseum for round number 5 of the ReSURGEnce League. We are live at Bristol, 250 laps on taps tonight. Tony Trapasso with the booth, joined with me by a very familiar voice. Those of you who've been around the esports broadcasting network for long enough, then you can remember when we started. Mr. Frank Marchese in the production truck tonight. Frank, welcome back to the job.
Thank you. And it's going to be a really fun night here at Bristol. It's the first race after, about a 3-week hiatus because of Christmas and New Year. This is a really difficult track to try to get your bearings back again after such a long break.
Oh, absolutely, especially considering the last time these guys were on the track was a 2.6-mile tri-oval, and now we are at the last great Coliseum, this half-mile bull ring that basically turns into jet fighters in a gymnasium before half the race is done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's close. It's not going to be too congested here, only 14 drivers. But one thing that is going to get close is some of these guys that are going to be fighting to get themselves into position for this championship. Only an 8-race season. This is round 5. We're just starting the second half of the season right here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And the points battle being as tight as it is, there's a lot of guys that do need to make up some ground if they want to have a shot at getting that ship at the end of the season.
Yep, absolutely. Chris Worrell only leading by 14 points. Now, he's won 2 of the 4 races here. Austin Collins not that far behind him. Again, just a 14-point disadvantage for Collins against Worrell. But Liam Ervig is right there as well. He's just 4 points behind Collins. Patrick Clapp is just 3 points behind Ervig. It's very, very close here still.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with next week being what they're considering their wild card race at Watkins Glen, these guys are going to want to have to accumulate as many points here tonight as they possibly can, especially if they're not so good at turning right.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be a bogey week for a lot of these guys because of the fact that the reason why we had moved Talladega to before the break is because of the actual Chili Bowl. And a lot of these drivers were going to be going to that event. So they moved a track that wasn't going to see a lot of work or a lot of people show up, which would be Watkins Glen normally. They just moved it back. So it's going to be a low car count to begin with. So you need to get as many points as possible here because there's going to be a lot missing off of the table next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you're one of those guys that are going to be missing Watkins Glen to go to the Real World Chili Bowl. It's definitely going to behoove you to do well and try to keep that car clean here tonight. But you and I both know we've seen enough Bristol races to know that it's going to be next to impossible to come out of here with a 0x on that car.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very close and tight racetrack, and these Xfinity cars do get very, very tight, especially the longer the run goes on. And we have a lot of potential here to get a long run. We're only about 50 laps off the real-world distance for the Xfinity cars and half distance for a cup race as we get down to the final 5 seconds of practice here. It is going to be it's going to be a test of attrition here tonight.
Oh, absolutely, especially considering we've got a couple new names cropping up here tonight that we haven't seen before, as one of them tears the front end completely off his car. That is, of course, the chief cook and bottle washer for the Sim Racing Media Corporation, parent company of Esports Broadcasting Network. That is, of course, the 48 of Jonathan Leach.
Yep, he's making his season debut tonight. The other 13 drivers we have seen, and we do have guys coming out on the track being led by Brett Sira in that Exalta number 7.
Sira's out on track. Irving's out on track. Toll Owens is out on track. Chris Worrell's finally rolling it. So these guys are getting after it quick because they've only got... So there goes lap 1.
Yep, Sira's done on lap 1. Toll Owens coming through turn 4 now. He will set the benchmark, and that benchmark will be a pretty solid one at a 15:26.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty decent lap, and I think Sira just threw away lap number 2 as well. But yeah, that the 15.26 by Owens looks like it might possibly. Nope, there it goes. Ryan Andrews, who was the quickest in qualifying with a 15.06, goes 15.20 to set provisional pole here tonight.
I think quickest in practice is what you meant. He's even quicker. Purple in the first half of the lap. Second half of the lap, he's definitely going to improve by 3/100ths of a second. So Ryan Andrews extends that pole position as Austin Collins jumps up into second. Right behind him, the second place man in points right now on second. Here's the man he's chasing, Chris Worrell, in that Balls Garana number 6.
Very familiar car to those who've been watching the Esports Broadcast Network for a while. We know Worrell knows how to get it done on the super speedways.
Purple.
Let's see what type. He's purple on his first sector. Let's see what he can do here.
Purple as well. Pole.
Wow.
15.
What a lap.
6. Wow.
That's the second fastest lap of the day. By 2/1000ths of a second, he's second quickest of the day.
Very good lap for him as here's Carlin Forsythe completing his second lap. And he will keep himself slotted in that 8th position. Jonathan Leach coming across for his second lap. He'll be his one and only time. And Leach will jump himself up into the 12th position. Garrett Delph had gone on to pit road in the number 13, then decided to stop. Nicholas Wing has not gone out for an attempt, period.
Oh, we're about halfway through the qualifying session as
Here comes Delph now.
Delph now out on track. The only one that has yet to roll it is Nick Wing. So let's see what Delph can do here. Takes the green on his first.
Solid
And that's
line.
about the line. That's about the line we're going to see most of these guys running here is that medium high line. And I'll be straight with you. I'm not a fan of running that high line.
No, it's one of those lines as there goes lap number 2. So Delph will start no higher than 8th position here on the grid. But it used to be that you could not run that outside line. It was inside line was king around here. Going back to the late 90s into the early 2000s, it was that inside line that reigned supreme around here. But ever since, I believe there was a little bit of a repave, I believe, right? A reconfiguration of the racetrack.
They diamond ground the top
was
lane, and it kind of changed the characteristic up there, and that's where the grip is now.
Yep. And it's very, very easy to defend up there, especially as the longer the run goes. If you have the outside line, good luck getting past.
Absolutely. Is Nick Wing going to be able to squeeze one in? Looks like he's going to get both laps in time. He's on a second lap now. Let's see if he can improve on his second. Not so much.
No, yeah, big improvement. Up to 6
quick.
from 12th.
There you go.
5.27 for Wing, just a 100th of a second off of Toll Owen. Nice way to end the qualifying session, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. As that is going to be it for cars here tonight. Only 14 cars making the call to come here to Bristol. Relatively short field, which I can understand because some people are probably still digging out from the snowstorms.
Yep. So I think with that, we go to the grid now, Tony.
Sounds good. Starting up on the pole is going to be the 06 of Chris Worrell. He's going to be joined on the front row with the 88 of Ryan Andrew. Austin Collins and Danny Wells going to roll it off in row 2. Row 3 goes to Toll Owens and Nick Wing. Row number 4 sees James Morgan and Pat Clapp. Frank?
Yep, and that'll be Garrett Delph and Carlin Forsyth in row number 5 with Liam Ervig and Dusty Burkhart making up row 6. And the final row of the grid will be Brett Sira in the number 7 and Jonathan Leach in the 48.
So relatively short field here tonight. 150 laps of scheduled distance, 2 fast repairs, 65% fuel fill, 7 sets of tires. That's being very generous.
It is, and that's anticipating a healthy amount of cautions here tonight, I would say, as Bristol tends to do. 14 cars, though, it should be able to get spread out a little bit, and then we should have little pockets of battles, but nothing too crazy as we go through the race tonight.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's the way it should work in theory.
Yeah, but we both know that there's going to be pandemonium after the green flag comes out.
Yeah, we've been doing this long enough to know that in theory doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Correct. In theory, I should have already won the lotto twice.
There it is.
So, if you're playing the at-home drinking game, we are going to put the over-under at 12 tonight. And James Lowe, thanks for checking in. Wishing his good buddy Chris Worrell good luck tonight. As the lights are out on the abomination that is the iRacing pace car now.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't look too horrendous. I mean, it looks horrendous, not too horrendous. I wouldn't call it an abomination as we ride on board with Chris Morrell.
Looks like a Mercedes CLK had. Never mind.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. You're going to get us in trouble. Okay, so as the field works its way into the 3-4 complex, before we lose all control, say it with me, folks. It's time to wipe the buzzer, adjust the 5-point safety harness, pull that steering wheel nice and tight, because race fans, it's showtime!
Solid jump for Chris Worrell, but a big crossover attempt by Ryan Andrew. Andrew's going to look to that inside here and early on in the run when those tires are fresh. It's the best chance to make a move on the inside, but you can see just a run that Worrell gets off the outside.
Absolutely. Worrell able to carry a little bit more momentum on exit. Andrews throws the block coming off the turn, though. Wow, another coat of paint. Those guys would have been in deep trouble.
James Morgan had a big moment in the midfield, and that created a big old gaggle of cars here from about 6th all the way down to 10th.
Yeah, it looked like he was just trying to get the heck out of the way as Leach and Forsyth going hammer and tongs at it right now.
Leach hasn't had a lot of practice time on the racetrack right now, but he's worked his way up already, +4 here on the evening, as now James Morgan begins his run back up through the field.
Absolutely. You kind of got to wonder, is Leach going too hard too soon? I'm kind of keeping an eye on the boss man up there. As now Dusty Burkhart all over the back bumper, or has Brett Sierra all over his back bumper, I should say. Sierra didn't get the qualifying attempt he was looking for. Bangs the wall. Wow.
Riding on board this whole time with James Morgan. Meanwhile, we have had a change for the lead as Ryan Andrews has up and taken the race lead and has run away from Chris Worrell to the tune of about 0.8 of a second. Danny Wells in that number 31 putting some pressure on the 6.
Well, you kind of got to figure that, this is Worrell's saving tires early. He's not running the car as hard as he can, just kind of riding right now, seeing what he's got. Just wants to stay within striking distance of Andrew as the tire fall off is going to become very apparent here in the next handful of laps.
Absolutely. It's going to start to get that way as that 31 all over the back of Chris Worrell. Nicholas Wing back here trying to put some pressure on Liam Ervig. This is a battle right now for that 8th position, and Jonathan Leach tried to stick his nose on that outside, afraid of getting pinched, decided to back out. Oh, around goes Wing by himself, keeps it straight. We stay green.
Nice recovery by the driver of the 90. Going to drop to the tail end of the field, but he is going to stay on the lead lap for now. But yeah, that was good heads-up driving, and that's what we were talking about. You've worn the goodie off the tires 11 laps in, and caution is out. Brett Sierra.
Yep, Brett Sierra spinning in turn 4. You see the damage on the right side of that number 7. This apparently happened as he was trying to get around Nicholas Wing. Pardon me, he's battling with Morgan.
He just sent it in there and a little bit too much rear brake.
Yeah, we're going to see it right here. We're about a half a lap behind here. Should be coming up through, and yep, did the same exact thing that Nicholas Wing did. Followed the same exact tire path. Just Wing was able to straighten it up a little bit quicker than Sierra was.
Sierra was just a little bit more sideways than Wing was.
But that was very interesting to see on that replay, though. He followed the same exact tire path. Like, there was very little in the way of a difference in that slide.
Oh, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's just, Sierra got a little bit more sideways. Morgan, Wing, and Sierra are the only 3 electing to come down this early and get some fresh shoes put on those cars.
Now it is a single pit here tonight, so you are going to have to enter in turn 2 and exit in turn 1. Pit road speed all the way around inside that solid blue line that you see there on the racetrack. It's a long way down pit road at 35 miles an hour.
Yes, it is.
Wing looks
right,
just
then.
like fuel only.
Yes. Morgan and Sarah, though, are taking tires, and looks like they're both getting damage fixed.
I want to take a look back and see what happened with Morgan, because he had a major incident that put him well out. He's battling for 5th position here with Toll Owen. He's going to be coming up out of 2 here. Oh, he had a big slide. Very much like what we saw with the 90 and the 7, and was able to corral it and keep it going straight.
A little too much rear brake. His lights are out on the pace car. And looks like Ryan Andrew going to have the button here as Danny Wells was able to get by Chris Worrell. Field working its way through 3 and 4 right now. Pace car going to make that hard left turn onto pit road. There it goes. And here we go. Andrew wastes no time pulling the trigger, and he looks like he's bringing Worrell with him. It's Worrell and Wells side by side for second.
We were talking about fresh tires on that inside line being the way to go. If you want to make it move, you got to make it early. As there goes Garrett Delph in the number 13 on Austin Collin in the 98. Move for 4th.
Absolutely. The 13's definitely got ahead of steam right now. He's already up 5 spots from where he started.
Not the biggest mover, though. Biggest mover goes to the 48. And 6th to just sent the 06 of Chris Worrell around. And that'll be caution number 2. Oh, big contact there. That was the 69 of Dusty Burkhart on the inside wall. Got in a little too hard. Just tap that 06 around, and really all she wrote from there.
Well, there's definitely going to be a receipt coming.
Short track racing, though. Typically, you do that with about 19 to go instead of 19 laps in, but
I mean, you're not wrong. Still a lot of racing left in this one. Again, 250 laps of scheduled distance here tonight. This guy's only working lap 21 of 150. Looks like Worrell going to be bringing it pit side. Irving going pit side. Brett Sierra back down pit road. Dusty Burkhart's in.
The front end damage on that left front there of Dusty Burkhart. We'll take a look at it. See that left front corner all bent up on that number 69 Reese's Chevrolet. So go back and take a look at that incident one more time here. Is fairly easy to see from Worrell, but let's go on board with Dusty Burkhart. This incident's going to happen well in front of him. You can see the incident happening just behind that replay board.
Oh, yeah.
And then just trying to get down and out of the way. Seen it a lot here already in the first 21 laps or so. Just the back end breaking away on that number 69. Going around into the inside wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Relatively damp night here in Bristol as well. I was just taking a look at the weather. 77-degree track temperature, 77-degree ambient air temperature, 80-degree track temperature, 2-mile-an-hour winds gusting up to 5. With that relative humidity at 62%, this concrete is going to be very slick at that point.
Yep. It's not going to get better until later on in the race when these guys do start laying some rubber down. You'll see this track progressively over the course of the night get a little bit darker and a little bit darker as we go back to green flag racing here with Ryan Andrew taking right on off against Danny Wells.
Garrett Delph completely stacked that inside line up, not getting the restart he was hoping for. He's now got to deal with an angry bunch of wolves behind him, as that's Leach and Clapp going after it behind them.
It's a big move going into 3 for the 48 of Leach, trying to get Clapp on that inside line, but at this point in the run, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to need a big old run of momentum to get a move done on the inside.
Absolutely, and Leach is going to lose a couple of spots here. Almost gets into the door of, that's Chris Worrell making his way back up through the field. And he came down at fuel only there.
Slide move there by James Morgan to get in front of the 65 of Clapp. And that's going to allow the momentum and the run for the 48 of Leach to get up into that 7th spot.
Yeah, absolutely. As Clapp lost all of his momentum there. Now Worrell going to put Clapp under pressure now, side by side, coming off of turn number 2.
Worrell gets the spot. Austin Collin and James Morgan now. Morgan working his way forward after that lap 2 incident we saw not that long ago.
Absolutely, side by side with Collin right now, as Collins not having his own way of it in the Duracell number 98.
Slick. I love that bronze spec map. There's another one driven by created by a name we'll know very well here on ESBN, Evan Pienta. It's a Duracell paint scheme for the next gen Ford. It looks absolutely stunning if you get a chance to look it up.
I have seen that. That's a very everything Pienta does. Those are some of the sharpest looking cars on the sim.
Absolutely, they are. Battle for the lead, getting close though. Between these two, Ryan Andrew in the 88, Danny Wells in the 31. Lap time comparison, you see that at the bottom of the screen there. They're within about a couple hundredths of a second of each other every single circulation of the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were deadlocked that last time.
Around one more here. Yep, just less than a hundredth of a second between these two the last couple times around.
Absolutely. Is Leach now putting pressure on Austin Collins for 6?
Noticing a trend here tonight. Guys that did not qualify great. Speaking of Garrett Delph, currently sitting in 3rd. Jonathan Leach, who started plumb dead last here. These guys working their way up through the field a lot better than some of the guys who started up towards the front. Now, Chris Worrell, he is where he is, not by his own volition, but we're talking about Nicholas Wynn starting up at 6th. He's back in 11th. So some of the front qualifiers falling backwards while the back qualifiers moving up.
Yeah, but that battle for 7th right now is just hot and heavy between Leach and Worrell. As the Volkswagen number 6 Toyota able to wrestle that spot away from the Ford of Leach.
Quick car, that 06. Typically is, as you mentioned, during pre-race, he's won 2 of the 4 events run this season. Darn near won Talladega about 3 weeks ago at this point.
Well, he finished 2nd at Daytona.
Yep.
For the season opener, so he almost had a 3-peat.
And we were corrected, actually. We had said after Talladega that Worrell had gotten a black flag for an unsafe pit entry. He actually just towed it back to the pit, so he never completed that final lap as we thought he had, which is why he was awarded that penultimate, that's second to last place finish at Talladega last week.
Right.
Nicholas Wing and Brett Sierra, Liam Ervig as well in this battle. Battle for 10th.
Bear with me here. I'm dealing with a porn bot.
Oh, that's fine. Patrick Clapp is about to become the next one under fire from Nicholas Wing. This will be for the 9th position. Wing's been moving his way up through the field quite nicely here. Now, Wing came into pit under the first caution on lap 14 and only took fuel in that Aaron's Dream Machine number 90. And boy, Liam Ervig did not let him get too far away, as now he's starting to get back into this battle. Inside line working out well for Nicholas Wing there. He just passed Ervig, and now he's passed Patrick Clapp. And Clapp really starting to fade here in this Busch number 65.
And the thing that's got me a little concerned is Irving did take tires under that last caution. Wing did not. So Wing's still on his first set of tires. Irving's on his second set. And Irving's not able to really gain too much, as now Wing giving Leach all the pressure he can handle.
Wing has saved those tires quite nicely, even with that big slide that he had. Now we'll also go back up, and you mentioned taking tires. James Morgan in the 43, currently running in 4th right now, has Toll Owen behind him. He is now fully recovered from his little oops on lap 2. He has taken tires. Liam Ervig has taken a set of tires. And I would have to assume that Brett Sierra and Dusty Burkhart have taken tires as well. Morgan took his set on the first caution on lap 14. But beyond that, everyone else has been on lap 21.
I think Sierra's on his second or third set of tires, because he's been down pit road twice. So
I don't believe he took tires on that first set, on that first trip down pit road. So he might be on just his second, as he's now battling with Carlin Forsyth. Battle for 12th here between the 67 and the 7. Another close battle up towards the mid-pack for 6th, as that is the 98 of Austin Collin, getting everything he could possibly ask for from the 06 of Chris Worrell.
Colin getting a little bit of tail happiness coming off the corners, especially coming off the 4, I think it is. I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, that was off the 4. Just ever so slightly tail happy with the 98 there. And he's not going to want to do that too much longer, because Worrell is going to eat him alive if he continues to do that.
Worrell is one of those guys that only took fuel on the last caution there on lap 21. So we've got a pretty good distance since the last caution flag. And boy, that's 06 almost got into the rear corner of Austin Collin.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been the same thing that happened with Danny Wells. Happening as Worrell doing everything he could to stay off of him, finally gets the pass made, now sets his sights on the 09 of Toll Owens. Owens gets pinched down to the low line. Worrell up on that second lane where he prefers to be, and just gets a great drive off of 2.
If you're able to make a pass on the inside line, once you get to the outside line, it's game over. Is boy, the 13 and the 31, close, 31 in the wall. In turn 1, as Worrell tried to shoot that gap and did successfully, much to the chagrin of the 31 of Danny Wells.
And it looks like the 13 may have used up all his tires, as Worrell made that pass look easy.
Delph has not pit at all, not for fuel or for tire. And right now, Chris Morrell, same thing. He's only coming for fuel. As Ryan Andrew has opened up a pretty nice lead here. 1.3 seconds the gap for the man who's had the race lead ever since lap 2. And James Morgan, again on a fresh set of tires, is now rapidly closing him down. We saw the gap just a minute ago between the 31 and the 88. That's a little bit of a difference. Still under a tenth, but it's closing. It's coming down. That was a tenth and a half that lap. As Austin Collin now side by side. It's Garrett Delphin, the 13 on the outside line. Austin Collin in the 98 on the inside. Just behind them, it's Toll Owen and Nicholas Wing going at it.
Yeah, Owens may have used up all his stuff. His Wing brushes the wall coming off of 4. That was a touch and go moment there for the 90.
That was very close as well between the 13 and the 98, as there goes Nicholas Wing on that inside.
Here comes 98 on the inside of the 13 as well in front of him.
Delph's going to get that run on the outside, though. Well, that looked like that 98 got a little bit loose coming out of 2 down the straightaway.
It looked like he was trying to pinch the 13 up, and now he's got him boxed in, and here comes Wing looking to get a 2 for him. And he gets the move done coming off with 2. Nose out front, now full car out front, gets the clear coming off of 4. And just like that, Nick Wing up into the number 4 spot.
It's a great swing for him. +3 in the last couple of laps, up to 4th position in the race. A great run there for Nicholas Wing coming down to the end of this tire run.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of got to wonder how much longer some of these guys are going to be able to stay out. Now, you got to think that the nod's got to go to Worrell and Wing, as they did come down for fuel. Morgan took fuel back on lap 14 with fresh tires. Ryan Andrew in the 88 on the same fuel and tires that he started this race with it only being a 65% fuel fill. I'm thinking maybe 75 laps is all they're going to be able to get.
That would be the next couple of laps here, the next handful. So we've had 6 of the 14 come down into pit road as we rode on board there with Toll Owen. And the battle for the lead here right now is the 88 of Ryan Andrew coming under fire from James Morgan. Only Morgan, Worrell, Wing, Irving, Sierra, and Burkhardt have come in at some point or another here in this race. It was Wing and Morgan that came in on lap 14. The other 4 came in on lap 21.
Right. As they are now having to deal with the lap car that is Johnson Leach. And this could get interesting. They almost made it 3 wide, thought better of it. James Morgan heads up driving and not push that issue too much as Leach bounces off the turn 4 wall.
Definitely smart there by Morgan. He knows he has the tire advantage. He knows Ryan Andrew is going to have to come into pit here in the not so distant future. Not a wise decision to force it.
Yeah, absolutely not. Gets the pass made, and now here comes Chris Worrell on that high lane. Going to pinch Leach down, get the run coming through 1 and 2. So it's 75 laps in the books. Ryan Andrews, James Morgan, Chris Worrell, Nick Wing, and Austin Collin, your top 5 as they currently sit.
Andrew just caught that wall a little bit going into turn 2.
Well, he's pushing it. I mean, he's definitely pushing it on the old tires. But you take a look, we're looking about a 1.5 second fall off.
Kind our
Garrett
first
Delph.
take. Yep, just going to say that. Had our first taker in, and this is, as we had mentioned before, it is a long pit road. Now they do have the option of the dual pit road, but they've elected to take that single. Bad news for Delph is it's a long trip down this pit road. Good news for Delph is that the other 13 competitors are going to have to take that same long trip as well.
Yeah, that's it takes some getting used to, especially if the guys haven't practiced that throughout the hot lap session, which I only saw one guy trying it, and it just so happens to be the guy that's sitting in second place right now.
It's a slow trundle at 35 miles an hour as well when everyone else is going around you at 120.
Here we go.
Yep. Chris Worrell, a big move there from the 06 of Worrell. Takes that second spot, and there's going to be a caution. It's Delph.
It is Delph. Cold tires.
It's cold tires. It is also an exceptionally tight pit road exit around here. Let's go back and take a look at it here. This is him coming right out of pit road.
Cold tires on a dirty apron.
Yep. Yeah, just right where he was gassing it up to get back onto the racetrack. You can see how awkward this pit road exit is because you got to get up on that banked black there. And you can't get up on the racetrack until after you pass that blue line in that cone.
And as expected, we are seeing wholesale pit stops.
Absolutely are. It's everyone except for Delph for multiple reasons. And it looks as though Jonathan Leach will stay out. I believe he's getting the wave around.
Free pass.
Yep, there you go. Take a look here at pit exit. That will move Jonathan Leach up to the race lead.
No, it's going to put him back to the tail end of the pack because
he's being scored as the race leader now. He just came in as it'll be Ryan Andrew winning the race out of pit road.
As you would expect, foreign fuel for the entire field.
Yep.
So I wasn't too far off of my prediction. Around lap 75, we were going to start seeing green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we saw 77 for Delph.
Yep.
And Delph will naturally stay out to get a wave around. It's, aerodynamics don't seem to matter around here. Couldn't imagine why.
Well, depends on what you're running.
What was it? 2000? What was it? 2009? That race
trials.
That race at Martinsville where Mark Martin ran faster with the bumper off the car than he did with it on.
Yeah, that was 09.
Don't need certain aerodynamic parts on these things in order to make them go quick.
No. You don't. But of course, that was the same year they had the speed trials here, and the fastest overall lap ever was set by a winged super modified.
How fast would that have been?
I think he did an 11 something.
It's certainly something to shoot for. We're only 4 seconds off of it.
Yeah. But you're talking about, a 1,800-pound car with nearly 1,000 horsepower. We are back underway.
Morrell back up at the front. James Morgan back up the front, and then there's a big gaggle from about 4th to 10th. Oh, watch Tolo and
Oh boy.
yep, caution's
That
out.
didn't-
Oh!
And Leach catching a piece of it too, as does the 13.
I mean, that was good news for these guys. There are 2 fast repairs, so this is not the end of their night. But I mean, that was Owen just sliding out.
I don't think
turn 4.
Yeah, he just overgassed it, and the back end stepped out on him, and around she went.
Sierra Leach scrapes off the whole right side of the car. Delph catches it. Right on board with Brett Sierra. See the accident, just expected. This track is a lot like Dover in the way that it's a self-cleaning racetrack that typically,
Usually.
because the bankings are so high here, so we're on board with Garrett Delph, typically when you wreck here, because the bankings are so high, it tends to wash everything down to the inside of the racetrack. That just did not happen here.
Yeah. You hate to see it happen.
Absolutely, as Patrick Clapp is going to be the first one on pit road, so 6th and then pretty much 8th on back all hit pit road, and this will give Dusty Burkhardt a chance to get back on the lead lap via the free pass. Burkhardt, who's already used one of his 2 fast repairs tonight after single car spin that was a part of the second caution.
As you would expect, it's Bristol, baby. And there's virtually no place to hide.
It's not bad though. 4 cautions, 3 of them for single car spins.
Yeah, that was the first multi-car incident that we've seen tonight, luckily.
Even still, the caution came out before the rest of the field got into it. As take a look at what's coming up here on ESBN. We showed it just a moment ago, but tomorrow afternoon it'll be the ISNF Cup Series. They will be at Auto Club Speedway at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Then on Monday it'll be the Maestro's ARCA Series. They will be at USA International. That'll be a 9 o'clock Eastern Time broadcast. Same thing the next night, or the Rick Motec Truck Series will be at Kansas, starting the second half of their season at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then about an hour after that, the Western States Racing League will hold round number 2 from Kansas Speedway on Tuesday night.
A lot of racing left here. Got the doubleheader on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that one. As lights are out on the pace cars, the field works its way into the 3-4 complex. Andrew going to have the button on that inside lane. Worrell going to try to get a decent jump this time on that second lane. As here we go, pace cars in, green flag is out, and we are back underway as Nick Wing stacks them up behind him.
Yeah, he had a bad start. Did that 65, who had a bad start the last time around, Patrick Clapp. He had a decent one, and around goes Nicholas Wing again. Same mistake he made earlier in the race, and once again does not cause a caution. Jonathan Leach also doing the same thing. He was fortunate to keep it straight.
And while we were watching that, we've got a new leader, Chris Worrell, taking over command of this one, Brian Andrew. Andrew, though, keeping him honest, and here comes the 31 of Wells.
First time Andrew has been passed for the lead since lap 2. We're running lap 96. As Worrell has completed his comeback after getting spun out earlier by the 43 of James Morgan. and now having connection issues.
Oh, that's not good.
It's a small blink, and it's the first one, but still something to keep your eye on.
Absolutely is. We got about a 4-car breakaway at the front of this thing. And it's Worrell, Andrews, Wells, and Morgan all running stem to stern, and then you've got about a 2nd and 3/4 back to the 98 of Austin Collins, currently running in 5th.
Close racing at Bristol. It's all you can ask for as we jump on board with Ryan Andrew. Looks that inside, trying to diamond that corner off. And if you can make a late diamond around here, that certainly helps, where you don't have to float out nearly as much on corner exit. So that car on the outside really doesn't have too much over you. As you can see there, Chris Worrell still able to power through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you got Worrell trying to get, getting that top line figured out, Andrew trying to figure out the inside lane, not able to get the run off the corner because Worrell's there. I got to think that Andrew's just, right now, he's just burning up his tires trying to make that pass on the inside on Worrell.
Just a little bit of burning, nothing too crazy, and he, very good job in that first stint, making those tires last 83 laps and still being out ahead as far as he was. It certainly closed up, but that wasn't because of anything he was doing. It was the tire advantage of the 2 cars behind him that caught him up, as now Andrew once again makes a big dive going into turn 1, trying to clear, just can't on corner exit. And this is what we talked about at the top of the broadcast, was it is going to be darn near impossible to get on that outside, to get on that inside line and make a pass with how good that outside line is.
Well, just as you say that, Worrell crosses Andrew
contact.
back over. Jeepers.
Door to door.
Hip check. Worrell apologizing, saying he didn't mean to do that.
Probably giving the position back as a courtesy there as well. That's what it looked like at least. But now that puts him under fire from Danny Wells in the 31. Oh!
Contact.
Yep, Wells pushed up a little too far. Caution now comes out. I mean, that's just tight racing. Tight, tough racing.
No, yeah. I mean, there's no real at fault there.
No.
It's just meeting of the minds. It was just good racing.
It's such a good run and then pushes it coming off and just didn't account for Worrell getting that run on the exit of the corner. Was really all that was. Just didn't account for the run.
Yep.
A little bit of net code involved as well.
A little bit. Well, the good news is if you're a Dusty Burkhart fan, he should be getting the free pass here. As Andrews and Toll Owens staying out, as does Nick Wing, everybody else going down pit road to get a new set of rubber.
Sure, that 6 might be trying to check and see how much, if any, optional repairs he has on that that car.
Shouldn't be too bad.
No, I couldn't imagine it being.
Just a donut on the door.
Yeah.
Now he's getting tires.
And you got 7 sets, and we're almost halfway through this race. Most of these guys have only used 1.
Absolutely.
So you can afford to, at this point, you can definitely afford to take that old official strategy and come in and take tires under every caution.
Yeah. I mean, we're not too far off of that strategy being able to work.
I'm surprised Ryan Andrew didn't come in with how much damage he's got on the right side and the rear end of that 88.
I was kind of surprised as well. I don't think he realizes just how damaged that car is right now. A lot of quarter panel damage on his car, on the 09. Nick Wing's got a decent wow back there. Excuse me, a decent wow back there as well.
Again, you had mentioned, Tony, at the top of the broadcast that we've got 2 fast repairs here tonight, and that is purely by accident, but we have them. May as well use them.
Absolutely. But if you haven't already done so, folks, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications. Single moment of action. Being as we are in the new year, broadcasts are going to start ramping up here real quickly as the leagues start to come back into the fray. Like we said, we've got a race tomorrow night, a race Monday night. We got 2 on Tuesday night so far. And you're not going to want to miss on Wednesday because that's going to be the fun one that we're going to be debuting. Wacky Wednesdays here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. More information on that under the next caution. As pace car is in, Andrews pulls the trigger. Owens goes with him. And Worrell and Wing getting a decent start. Wing letting his teammate get up there as right now Worrell all over the back bumper of Owens working the inside as he works 1 and 2.
Yeah, Worrell going right now. That's what's happening. He is off on a mission. James Morgan now getting under the 90 of Nicholas Wing as well. A lot of these guys came into pit, as you had mentioned. Only 3 drivers staying out. Toll Owen came into pit on lap 90. He's the most recent to have come in of the guys that did not pit, and you can see already that tire advantage and that fresh car advantage between the 88 and the 06.
Yeah, absolutely is. Worrell just making it look easy right now on almost 20 lap newer tires, or over 20 lap newer tires, I should say, and just making it look just that simple. Now the fresh air was helping Andrews, as he did have the clean air getting to the front bumper of that car. Now not so much. And he's now falling back into the clutches of James Morgan, as Morgan's going to move up into second place as they come off of turn number 4.
Austin Collins just had a big moment. At number 98 coming through turn 2. We'll take a look and see. Just what we'll call the Bristol slide here tonight, as we've seen most of the drivers do it tonight.
Sounds good. Sure as hell beats doing the Bristol stomp, where pancake the right side of the car.
The Bristol crunch.
Yeah. As right now, Morgan giving Worrell all he can handle down the straightaway and into turn number 1. They are pulling out a pretty decent gap over Ryan Andrew, who did not pit. So the 2 sets of fresher tires really starting to walk away from those older tires of Andrew.
Morgan right all over the rear of that 06 of Worrell. Just as we say that, Danny Wells, take a look back. There's the 31 of Danny Wells, having just gotten up into that 3rd position. And Wells, minus the spin, and even with the spin, he's found himself really no lower than 4th all race long here tonight. So a very good run for that number 31 here this evening.
Yeah, Wells is putting it together. He seems to be a more short track specialist than he does longer tracks. Didn't do too badly at Atlanta, but Talladega was a race you just as soon forget. But he's got the thing on kill here tonight at Bristol.
As it is for most people, I'm sure, is Chris Worrell and Morgan really doing battle. Morgan's made a couple of attempts to the inside of Worrell here over these last couple laps. Now looking to get a little bit higher than that 6, and Worrell placed that car perfectly to cut the diamond off as we hit halfway.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Worrell starting to get his short track legs under him. As I mentioned, we've seen him so many times on the super speedways. That was a pucker moment.
I don't know how they didn't get into each other, as now Morgan really
they were trying.
Yeah, darn near tried to wreck, but couldn't. As Danny Wells has now gotten into this battle. Look at the swing by Morgan into the race lead.
That was a dirt track slide job.
You ain't kidding. We've seen him pull
Good
a couple of
grief.
those off tonight.
I was going to say, we've seen Worrell so many times on the speedways that, we forget that he's a pretty damn good driver all around. And these short tracks are showing it.
Yeah, but we know Chris Worrell very well from the iRacing East races, from the Rowdy Energy and the Circle B Diecast series. But Worrell, one of the big contenders year in and year out for that Rowdy Energy Cup Series crown every Monday night. So he's getting a big attack from Danny Wells and essentially just lets him go.
Yeah, I think Worrell is just kind of minding his P's and Q's right now and watching the tires as your top three guys are about a second and a half to the good over fourth place Nick Wing. Worrell's just kind of just riding right now, kind of, seeing what the tire wear is going to do as the big battle is for sixth place right now between Toll Owens and Austin Collin.
Patrick Clapp just getting past Ryan Andrew, who is by far and away the lowest he's been all night long, running in the 9th position, but Toll Owen giving up that outside line to the 98 of Austin Collin and is going to end up losing that position because of it. So there goes Austin Collin up into 6th.
I think that was kind of by design as they were communicating back and forth there. And Owens just, go ahead.
Fresher tires there as Toll Owen came in on lap 90 compared to Austin Collin on lap 109. So 20 lap fresher tires for that number 98 Duracell machine. And now
Absolutely.
Toll Owen coming under fire from Patrick Clapp.
James Morgan working around the lap car that is Liam Irving. So just like that, we've got 3 cars, one lap or more down so far. Dusty Burkhart, who got the lucky pass under the last caution, got back on the lead lap, currently running in 11th. About 6 car lengths from being a lap down again.
He's got Brett Sierra there running currently 14th position, 5 laps down, about to be 6 here at the moment. As Danny Wells has really closed in on Morgan. I'm surprised that Worrell has fallen off so much. Unless he really went that hard that early in the run, he's already lost 2 seconds on the front pair.
Well, if you take a look at the lap times, he ran an identical last lap to the leader, Morgan. So I don't think it's so much tire fall off as much as it is
personal restraint.
Yes, that's pretty much it. He's just kind of letting those guys burn their stuff up, and he's hoping for a long green flag run as we are just past the halfway mark, working lap 140 of 250.
We've seen a long run already here tonight of a good 50, 55 laps.
Right.
So it's not unthinkable. There's Burkhart getting put a lap down again. One guy I've been sitting here watching move his way up through the field is this man, the 67, Carlin Forsyth. He's been slowly working his way up through the field. We saw him earlier tonight battling for the 11th, 12th position. He's now just gotten up into 4th as he's just passed Nicholas Wing, and now Austin Collin trying to follow suit on that 90.
Yeah, I'm thinking Wing might be second guessing, having not come down pit road on lap 109. The last time he was down was lap 83. And everybody that did not pit under that last caution seems to just be hemorrhaging spots as Collin wrestles the spot away from Wing.
Nicholas Wing right now is the highest running of the guys that did not come in on lap 109. Toll Owen running in 8th position, second highest. He's coming under fire from Jonathan Leach, who did come into pit on lap 109.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Owen not having a good night right now.
And it fell apart with that incident on the restart on lap 85. Just a little too much gas, a little too early. Put him around and put him back. Didn't think the damage on the car was all that bad, which, to be fair, it doesn't look to be. And just hasn't found the pace yet. As Wing is in a mess right now. He's got Patrick Clapp to his inside for position. He's got Brett Sierra in front of him, who's 6 laps down.
Yeah, but take a look at what just happened. James Morgan just put Ryan Andrew, who led the first 85 laps of this race, just put him a lap down.
And that's, again, coming in on lap 83. And Nicholas Wing also came in on lap 83. He's starting to fall off. And it shows how much he has saved his tires, that he hasn't fallen as far back as the 88 of Ryan Andrew has. As here he is. Plus, he also doesn't have the damage that the 88 of Andrew has.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's one of the things that we know about Wing from the iRacing East Series. We know Nick Wing knows how to save tires on a shorter track.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good short track racer, has Nicholas Wing. Burkhardt right in front of him. That's not for position between the 90 and the 69. Also worth noting, now there was a little bit of traffic in there. Chris Worrell, not that long ago, just put down a 16 flat to the leader James Morgan's 16.2. So, yeah, personal restraint is going out the window now. He's using that tire advantage, especially on Danny Wells, who he was about 0.3 of a second quicker that last lap, and not much slower this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Is full good 0.2 quicker. So, that there's your answer. Worrell was saving tires. He wasn't, as the name would imply, he wasn't going balls out. As he does run for Balls Out Racing. And if you haven't tried Balls Guarana, I suggest you do. I'm not a big fan of cherry drinks, but Balls Guarana Cherry is actually a pretty decently flavored drink.
Not a big energy drink person. I'll get back to that in a second, but you can see here on the chart, he's been a consistent 0.3 of a second quicker. That lap 154, where he was only about a 10th quicker, was the lap that he was running side by side with him. But I can go through my entire energy drink history. I've had 2 5-hour energies that did absolutely nothing for me. I was sleeping a half hour later. About 1 or 2 sips of an AMP energy, 1 sip of a NOS energy that I almost threw up after, and maybe half of a Monster.
Sugar-free Monster or regular Monster?
No, it was a straight up the original.
Yeah, try one of the sugar-free flavors. Instead of using sugar, they load it up with vitamin B.
Uh-huh. I always see people getting the white can. I don't know. The white can with the texture.
It's grapefruit. That's sugar-free.
Okay. Oh, big into the wall goes James Morgan.
And around goes Chris Worrell.
That was for the race lead.
Just that quick.
Couple bumps to the wall there for the 43, and boy, saving tires seems to help, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, who says Chris Worrell can't run a short track? Certainly the hell wasn't me.
He's only running 0.3 of a second quicker than everyone else around him. Ran at 16.3 last time.
The only other person, the only other person in the 16.3 is Carlin Forsyth.
There you go. That 67 is working, man.
Yeah, it is. He's already up 6 spots from where he started. He's having a great run here tonight. Another one that's up 6 spots from where he started is Jonathan Leach. Make that 7 spots from where he started, and we're under caution.
Yeah, it looks like Nicholas Wang. Yep, Nicholas Wang,
Oh.
absolutely. Not necessarily supposed to be facing that way on a racetrack.
Looks like he pounded the wall coming off of 2.
I would have to imagine.
And got into Leach.
Let's take a look and see here. Yeah, battling Leach.
Yo! Go on board with Toll Owens.
Oh, we will. Don't worry about that. Boy, you just saw it there.
Good grief.
Him and Liam Irving were very close.
So if you need your flare suit dry cleaned, you need to go to Johnny's Cleaners, just on the other side of Fishtails Pigtails, about a quarter mile up the road from the track here at Bristol.
Again, we'll take this one from Leach. He's way down the inside and just, I mean, that's what you see when you're a driver that has that happen to them. It's just, you think you're good, you're totally relying on the driver on the outside of you, and just around you go with nothing to do about it.
Welcome to Bristol.
Welcome to auto racing, period.
You're not wrong.
Everyone down pit road. Is that one actually?
Ryan Andrews stayed out.
Well, he's a lap down. He's getting his free pass.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I forgot he went a lap down.
Have to assume he's popping a fast repair on that 88.
Yeah.
As here he comes in now.
Yeah.
Longest run of the race, though. We've had a couple of long runs here at Bristol. Nice to see.
Yeah, those guys went
Just
about 60 laps.
Yeah, we've had 2. We've had 2 runs bordering, well, threatening to get around 60 laps.
I'm kind of surprised Garrett Delph has not burned a fast repair. He's still missing the front end of that car.
He's a trooper.
He's also driving a pavement modified.
Which is ironic because the pavement modifieds were here this week. Well, still are here this week. Changed until Monday.
Yeah, Mother Nature not playing nicely with these guys.
I meant in the sim.
Oh.
As the tour modifieds are here.
Oh, right.
The SKs, I think, are at Concord, if I remember right.
Yes, they are.
It's another pain in the neck of a track.
That's a fun track once you get it figured out.
Yeah, it's... and that's exactly right. You got to figure that place out.
As the lights go out on the pace car, Corell and Morgan going to start up on the front row. Carlin Forsyth up into the number 4 spot. Danny Wells in 3rd. And we are going to have 169 laps in the books when we take the green. There goes the pace car. There goes the green flag. And here we go, back underway.
Middle of the field again here. Good restart from the first couple of rows, but after that, it's a little bit shaky. Carlin Forsyth trying to keep Jonathan Leach at bay.
Oh!
Who was that?
Wells and Morgan just got into it.
That puts Morgan back. Take a look at just a moment, see what happened there between those two. As Forsyth wins the 4th position, Patrick Clapp, boy, trying to take on Jonathan Leach, and there is Ryan Andrew, who did take a fast repair, now flying in that 88 back up through the field.
doing what he can to try to make some headway back up. But we've got a 3-car breakaway starting to form at the front of this thing. Worrell, Wells, and Morgan, as you got a little bit of a gap back to Carlin Forsythe in the number 4 spot.
Not sure what happened, but Liam Irving just jumped to the pit lane. See the battle for the top 3 positions here as here comes Danny Wells to the inside of the 06 of Worrell. And it's going to be Wells taking the spot. And look who's already up into 4th position after being a lap down not that long ago. Here's the 88 coming right now for 3rd as Morgan got into the wall.
Yeah, Morgan's been eating that wall on corner exit quite a bit here tonight.
Certainly has, as Morgan almost runs right over
Jeepers.
the right rear corner of Andrew. And Worrell just doing everything he can right now to try to hold on to that 2nd position. Just can't quite do it as Andrew from the back all the way up to 2nd in the better part of about 7 or 8 laps.
Yeah, he's definitely got this track figured out. And, you know, he was experimenting earlier about not pitting, but now back to the lead.
Give me that lead, son.
Good grief.
That's
picking him up and laying him down.
Yeah, no kidding. And while that's done and sorted now, let's go back and take a look and see what happened with Danny Wells and James Morgan. This is coming out of 2. Onto the back straightaway. Nothing quite. They got a little close, but nothing that wasn't manageable.
That was off of 4 that they got into it.
Coming off of 4, yep. At 31, almost. I thought he was clear. Little bit of a gap. As Ryan Andrew has once again set sail to the tune of about 0.8 of a second.
And we are going to reach out now to the infield care center. Liam Irving, what happened?
Yeah, I just had a fuel pump issue. I couldn't get fuel to the motor, couldn't get power to it. Every time we come into the pits to try to fix the hardware issue, it just kept getting bad every time on track. So pulled it in to not be a nuisance or a hazard to anybody else on track, and yeah, I run myself upstairs to come and join you guys for some short track racing for a little bit.
You definitely picked a good race to do it.
Didn't pick a good race to fall out of, but
these guys
I'll
are
take
putting on a show.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast on the track, and seeing these guys running different lines. I know the bottom's been one to watch later on in the run. I've heard of people running well down there, but the top seems to be where it's at right now. You see our good old buddy Jonathan Leach. Right now he's trying to bottom. I don't think we're looking at the same thing.
You're not looking at the same thing because he just went around Toll Owens on the top side.
Trying to stay in front of Toll at least.
Well, no, he just got around him.
Yeah, the turn, I hadn't caught myself up yet. A rookie mistake, but that's okay.
You're fired.
There it is.
All right.
Boy, Leach trying on that inside of the 98. It would have been a great move if Garrett Gelf wasn't
right
there.
In front of him.
Yikes.
Just to get up off the gas, loses a few spots. A little 3-wide action there with the wing. Oh, wow.
Boy, Wing did a fantastic job with how tight he was pushed up there out of 2 to not get into that wall.
All right, then.
Yeah, that was a blast.
These guys are showing 0 Fs given right now.
Getting down to the nitty gritty here. Coming to 61 laps to go this time around.
Absolutely. Is Worrell starting to close back in on Wells? And, something we were talking about during that last long stint, Worrell knows how to save tires, and I think he saved just a little bit more than Danny Wells did. But Ryan Andrews has just set sail.
Andrews currently sitting at 3.3 seconds ahead of this field, and did not appreciate going a lap down, I can imagine, just
Far
based
from
on
it.
tire strategy. And go from the back to the front like that as now Garrett Delph goes into the pits.
Let me tell you, Ryan Andrew was so excited to be able to run this race. He's not a full-time competitor here. He's jumped into a few races, but this was one that he was really excited to be able to run, and when he found out he could, well, I mean, it's showing with the results on the track with this massive lead he's holding over Danny Wells. They've got a pretty close battle there for a second. Danny is definitely one to want to keep Chris behind him. Chris has won, I think, two of the first four. The only races he hasn't won have been the plate races. So, a lot of these OGs kind of want to keep him behind.
I was going to say, we haven't seen Ryan since Daytona, haven't we?
That might have been the last time we've seen him. Yeah, actually, he did
season
played
opener.
race control at Atlanta and Auto Club. He was not there for, so I don't think he was at Talladega, but yeah, stretching out that lead just a little bit more and more every lap.
It's a nice gaggle of cars here as well, from second all the way down to 8th position. Being represented right here, Wells at the front of the train, Toll Owens at the back of the train, and all of these guys are for position. And we use it as a phrase in open wheel racing. It's almost like a cork in the bottle situation with Danny Wells, that once one gets around him, and Chris Morrell just did, it could be the rest of them getting around him very shortly.
That is true, but Danny managed to get back up to the outside, and now James Morgan's got to try to wrestle that inside down. Couldn't get his nose up top to work that momentum on the outside lane, but we'll see if Chris Morrell can get closer to the front. Ryan Andrew, I'm going to jump back out of here. I appreciate you guys letting me jump in and just talk some garbage for a little bit, and I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing, so have a good rest of the show, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, Liam, we'll catch you next time. But Worrell, that last time by, was a full 0.2 quicker than your leader, Ryan Andrews. So look for that lead to start whittling down here as we are 50 to go. Make that 49 to go.
And the whole field has been quicker, really, than Andrew over these last couple laps, and you can see what's happened over the last 6 between Andrew and Worrell. Is once Andrew got into that 4-second lead gap, it's been coming down quite significantly, and you can see the staircase that's happening here is it's coming down a good couple of tenths a lap here. 0.2 of a second quicker was Worrell that last time around.
Yeah, Worrell, again, it comes back to conserving your equipment. And that's something we know Worrell knows how to do. Andrew, probably just out of pure frustration and, wanting to make a statement, how dare you guys put me a lap down? I'm going to show y'all. And took over the lead, started to run away with it. But the thing is, he used up all his equipment way too soon in this tire run. As I'm not sure, I don't think they could make it from here. I mean, if they pitted now, they could. But from the last time they came down pit road, I don't think they make it.
Last time everyone came down pit road was 166, and Ryan Andrew does have a little bit of an advantage because he was the wave around car. He had to wait a lap before he can come into pit, so he came in on 167. So he does have an advantage, which is negligible as far as tires, but not negligible as far as fuel. That one lap could mean the difference, and has in many cases.
Well, we're about to find out as somebody just tried to knock the wall down.
Looking, it might have been the 98 of Austin Collin. We're sitting here watching this battle for fourth here between James Morgan and Carlin Forsyth.
Yikes! And there goes Nick Wing.
Yep, and take a look and see where... Oh, well, no, he's good. He's missing the back of his car now. He got the Mark Martin effect. He'll be going. Not quite.
No.
This is battling
No, if you want to
with,
go back and look at that one, Tall Owens catching a piece of it.
yeah, battling with Collins, and boy, Owens. And that's why he was missing the back, as Owens just flat ripped the side of his car off.
Yeah.
Look here.
And Wayne ran
Onboard
it down
Tall
pit
Owens.
road.
Didn't look like much, but to the sim, it certainly was, as Forsyth starting to fall back some spots. Might have clipped the wall, did the 67. And he's fallen from 5th to 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. Race control asking the lap cars, please be courteous of the lead lap cars. Not so easy to do if you're racing for position, but what was almost a 3.5 second lead now down to just under 1 second.
Just came down under a second. As Andrew
Trying to struggle on old tires.
Yeah, he's trying his darndest, but he's not going to be able to stay ahead. As here comes Austin Collins, trying to get around Forsyth, as Carlin Forsyth was able to get back around the 98 and trying to stay ahead of Toll Owens.
Yeah, these guys are getting it figured out.
Nicholas weighing in pit road in the 90. The 13 and 54 appear to be done
Lead
for the evening. As yep, you're right. Here comes Ryan Andrew having to defend now from that 06. And from
Laurel's got the lead back.
Yep, and just as the caution comes out too, as it's the 48 of Jonathan Leach around in one. Oh, and Burkhart spins to avoid it. See what happened to Leach, as that's a lot of damage on the front end of that number 48. Outside wall off of 4, inside wall hard. Lord knows if you've seen enough racing at Bristol, you've seen that a time or two.
Looks like he just cut a tire down coming off of 4. That car just stopped turning.
Right on board and listen to that 48. He just grazed that outside wall too and jams on the brakes. He saw the 7 of Brett Serra coming, and oh, there's Burkhart. Big slide to avoid that. Is pit road for the final time this evening is a busy place.
Absolutely. Now, when we go back to green, they're going to have just inside 30 laps to go. So this is going to be fun to, as we're right now 30 laps to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen as far as, you know, we've seen Morel, it's taken him about 60 laps to really get that thing wound up, you know, because he's been able to save. I don't think he's going to save this time.
You're going to have to save, but not as much
right
as he was. I think you take more of the Ryan Andrew approach, because that was another good 60 lap run, or bordering on 60 lap run there. Kind of got to take the Andrew approach this time. Just run it and go.
Yeah, because there's not going to be much saving, especially considering you got Andrew who's hungry for a win, Danny Wells is hungry for a win, James Morgan's hungry for a win, Pat Clapp can't afford to give up many points. You know, and that's your top 5 right now. And you got Carlin Forsyth, who's been strong all night. I don't think he's going to be holding anything back.
That Balls Out Racing team has won 3 of the 4 races, as it was Worrell at Atlanta and Auto Club, and then Ryan Worley at Talladega. A couple more races to go on the season here. Short season for these guys. Only an 8-race season, this being round number 5. Watkins Glen, Chicago, and Homestead will be done with the season by the end of the month.
Yeah. So not a lot of racing left to do if anybody's going to hope to catch Chris Worrell, as the lights are out on the pace car.
Yep.
Pace car is in. Here we go. As we are 27 laps to go in this piece.
Danny Wells gets a big run into that 3rd position, but James Morgan right there in 4th. Patrick Clapp in the 65 in 5th. Oh boy. 43. Getting close. We've already seen him spin Worrell out tonight, and he's gotten close on a couple of other occasions to getting into guys.
And we saw Danny Wells go for a ride earlier.
Yep.
Alpha contact. So Chris Worrell just set the fastest lap of the night.
15.14 for Worrell.
Oh.
And the caution's out. It might be, it is Nicholas Wing again. We'll try to suss out what happened here with Wing. It's the Bristol slide.
Same thing we saw him do earlier, just wasn't able to catch it that time.
3rd time unlucky.
Well, the good news is if you're Jonathan Leach, you just got your lap back.
There you go. That's all you can ask for. And he's been incredibly good tonight, even with little to no practice on this racetrack. You know, and being where he is right now, if Carlin Forsythe doesn't get another position, he'll be the biggest mover of the race at +5.
Yeah, that's something to speak of, especially considering that we were talking to him before we went on air, and he was not having a good time trying to figure out this car on this track.
I mean, we saw it in qualifying. He was all over the place in qualifying, and he has certainly found a way in that Crunchyroll Ford Mustang.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, for those of you who don't know, is a Japanese anime hub. Kind of like Netflix for anime. Aniplex kind of fits that mold as well, but anyway, we're missing the target audience here.
Okay, then. So if you're a boomer like me...
There it is.
and have no idea what they're talking about.
I only just started with this stuff, so I'm still very much a boomer. I'm trying to spew what little knowledge that I have.
Hey, I'll have you know it pissed me off when he told me that he was born the same day that I moved into my college dorm my freshman year of college.
I was 3. Just turned 29 last week.
Anyways.
Just had to make it about you, didn't you? So we're going to have 19 laps to go and this thing goes green again?
Sure.
Would be the assumption. We're going to be taking 20 to go here. And I would have to assume the lights are going off.
We would hope so. Being as they didn't get a... Did they get a complete lap in? Yeah, I guess they did.
There we go.
They're starting to double up now. As it's Worrell, Andrews, Wells, and Morgan, your top 2 rows.
Got 9 on the lead lap here battling for position. Dusty Burkhardt, Brett Serra, and Nick Wing are the only 3 that are not on the lead lap, with Garrett Delph and Liam Irving out of the race.
Worrell has the button as the field works its way out of turn number 4. There goes the pace car. Here comes the green flag, and there goes the field.
Great jump by Chris Worrell on that inside line, as Andrew trying to put as much pressure as he possibly can on that number 06. And boy, just got in a little bit too deep there going into 3.
You know, Worrell was able to keep it gassed up in that second lane, get better drive off the corner. He's going to do it again coming off a 2 drag race going down into turn number 3. Andrews throws it right down towards the apron. Worrell, though, able to keep it wound up in that second lane. And those 2 battling like that has let Danny Wells get to the back bumper of Ryan Andrews.
If you're going to battle like that, you kind of have to follow the outside car up in that middle lane. You can't hug the bottom line. You can't hug the old school line around here. You just don't have the momentum, and you can't straight line it out of the corner the way you can if you ran the middle with the car on the outside of you.
But these guys were showing respect to each other by giving each other plenty of room.
Yes.
And that's the key to that was.
Yes, I will agree with that, yes.
And we're back under caution.
It's going to be Toll Owen in that 09 on the back straightaway.
What happened?
All right, I would have to assume the Bristol slide. He's
Let's
all
find out.
Yep, Bristol slide going into 1, caught it long enough, and then
Bangs the wall, and Forsyth finishes him off.
Yep, took the words right out of my mouth.
No, here you can have him back.
Yeah. Owen never had control of that car in 1 and 2. The second he threw that thing into turn 1, the back end was around.
Absolutely. Is Dan Gallant going, let's go Morgan, pulling for the number 43 to pull one off tonight?
It's not impossible. I mean, with how racy the 06 and the 88 have gotten, it's certainly not impossible for Morgan. He's been one of the more aggressive drivers tonight.
Yeah, he has.
Patrick Clapp, Austin Collins, Carlin Forsyth, Toll Owen, all coming down pit road. Take another one of those 7 sets of tires these guys had tonight. The 6, although the ones that they started the race on, and the 6 remaining. And you're in the back of the field anyway. There's really nothing hurting you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're back there, you might just as well, get a fresh set of tires and see if it can help at any. It's definitely not going to hurt.
Absolutely not. It's coming up here on ESBN. Coming up tomorrow afternoon will be the ISNF Cup Series. They will be at Auto Club Speedway at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then it will be to USA International in Lakeland, Florida for the Maestros Arcus Series. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Then on Tuesday, boy, if you like truck racing and if you like Kansas Speedway, Tuesday night is the night for you, as both the Rick Notech Truck Series and the Western States Racing League will be at Kansas. Rick Notech at 9, Western States at 10.
If you like a little Midwest in your racing,
exactly.
Tuesday's the night for you. But just taking a quick look at what's going on with this field right here tonight. I'm nothing short of impressed from what I'm seeing out of Jonathan Beach in the 48.
And that has nothing to do with the fact that he's the head of the network. He's
up 9 spots.
Yes, up 9 spots. And again, as we were talking about under one of the previous cautions, he has had little to no practice at this racetrack. And if you go back to watch qualifying, he was all over the place, had no clue where to run on this racetrack, and he's up to 5th.
He's definitely got it figured out now. Being as we are getting into the closing laps, we are currently 10 to go. We'll have 9 to go when the green flag comes back out this time, as the pace car gets ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road, coming through 3 and 4 right now. There it goes. Worrell pinches Andrew up into the high line, pulls the trigger, and gets a great restart as Danny Wells, looking to go with him, almost gets into Morgan.
I think he got into both the 88 and the 43 as Morgan, he knew how important getting on that outside was going to be. He just couldn't quite get the move and wasn't confident enough.
Whoa!
As Morgan almost turns him.
Wells was 8 different kinds of sideways coming off a turn.
I shouldn't say turned him. I should have said pulled him around.
There you go.
Jonathan Leach and Patrick Clapp battling for that 5th spot as Clapp has to go all the way to the inside wall to save that Busch number 65.
Well, he was trying to wreck.
I think they've all been at some point tonight. Oh, big contact with the wall for Austin Collins in the 98.
That's not going to help.
Yeah, no, there's going to be some acid leaking from that battery now. He hit that wall hard out of 4.
I see what you did there. We are 5 to go. Chris Worrell in command of this one right now. About 5 car lengths is the gap back to Ryan Andrews. Another 5 car lengths back to James Morgan. If these guys are going to want to do anything, they better make it happen now, as we are 4 to go.
Yep, half a second between the 06 and the 88, and another half a second between the 88 and the 43. Things are going to have to get awful close, awful quick here, as we've got only 3 more laps to go.
Chris Worrell started from the pole, dropped to the tail end of the field after getting turned early. Ryan Andrews missed a pit stop early. He went to the tail end of the field at one point, was a lap down at one point, and now currently sits in second as we are popsicle sticks in the air. 1 mile to go. Chris Worrell in command.
Well, now he just can't even say that, as here comes Worrell out of turn number 4, white flag in the air. He won round number 2 at Atlanta. He won round number 3 at Auto Club. And right now he is going to come across out of turn number 4 to win here at Bristol Motor Speedway round number 5.
What a performance from Worrell. We've seen him just conserve tires all night, made the moves when he had to. Ryan Andrews was trying as hard as he could all night long to get by him. James Morgan had a great run, but biggest mover of the night belongs to Jonathan Leach, coming home in 5th, up 9 from where he started.
And just think of the dominance from not just Chris Worrell. I mean, taking 3 of 5 is certainly impressive, but that entire Balsgarana team has taken 4 of the 5 races on the season thus far. And for Worrell, this was very nice. Had a 14-point lead coming into this season, and he's going to pull it out a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just one of those dream seasons the driver wants to have. As don't mind me, I'm just looking to make sure I've got everybody that's here.
And it's doubly important as well, because with how short this season is, only 3 races to go after tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So we are going to reach out now to the man of the hour, starting from the pole, coming home with the victory at Bristol. We know he knows how to get it done on a 1.5 miles. We know he knows how to get it done on a 2 mile. We've seen him get it done on a plate track before, and now we've seen him get it done on a short track. Congratulations, Chris Worrell.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Talk us through some of those long green flag runs. We saw you kind of backing off the pace that everybody else in front of you was setting. We were wondering if you were, using your stuff up too quickly, but apparently you were going into tire save mode early in those long runs.
Yeah, it was a long race, and I saw Ryan, Danny, and me not forget his name, James, and they were pretty fast there at the beginning. So I thought my best bet would to just be let them by, let them do their thing, catch them later in the race. I kind of started getting worried there at the end because every time I would seem to catch them and get the lead, not 2 laps into it, there would be a caution come out. So I really thought this was gonna, end up with a green-white checkered and we'd just be beating and brawling to the line. But thankfully, I was able to get some good jumps on those last restarts and edge them out.
Well, they were beating and brawling behind you, that's for damn sure. But, Chris, we saw you get a taste of the chrome horn early in the race. What was going through your mind as that car went sideways?
Don't hit me. Please, no one hit me. That's about it. Thankfully, no one did. I could tell from the beginning that those guys that had qualified up front were ready to put her in gear and go. And I knew being a long race, I was just trying to run my own pace and be there at the end. And, Gareth was just a little, just driving a little faster than I was. And it happens sometimes. It's no problem.
Well, Chris, you definitely put on a great performance here tonight at the last great Coliseum. Who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate with your team?
My buddies in Balls Out Racing, the team for bringing me a good car. My buddy Austin, Patrick, and Dusty for racing and practicing me this week, and Nick. Liam for putting on the league, ESBN for doing the broadcast. Look forward to seeing this one. I know it was a long one tonight. I'm sure y'all kept it interesting. And that's all I can think of in the Resurgence League in general. Been having fun with a lot of these guys. Been racing with some of these guys on our off weeks, so it's good to meet new friends and just have fun racing.
All right, Chris. Hopefully we'll see you Wednesday night at Wacky Wednesday. But congratulations on the victory here tonight at Bristol.
Cool. Thanks, Tony. You have a good night.
You too. So that was our war. And Frank, I believe you've got second place with you now.
I believe I do, Ryan.
Yep.
Solid run out of you. You appear to definitely have the short run car. As the run got longer and longer, though, seemed to fall off a little bit, and you kind of got what you wanted, just not enough time.
Yep, just was really fast there on the short run. Don't really know how to save tires here at Bristol, and it was all the others were doing a great job of saving their tires, and they were all catching me later in the run.
It's just, it did so well, and you could see how quick the car was. Did you just get caught off guard on that last restart, or just like tire spin? What happened on that last restart?
It's really hard to time it exactly right, and he just got a little bit too big of a jump for me to battle back.
Okay. One more question before we get looking forward to next week. You had a little bit of an issue not coming into pit road under a caution early. Fell back, ended up losing a lap. What was the mindset after losing that lap?
Just to try and get back up to the front and just keep the track position, because you can't really pass here once the tires get real worn out.
All right, next up, Kansas. Next up is Watkins Glen. Next week, are you going to be going to the Chili Bowl, or are you going to be here with us?
Probably going to be racing here.
All right, what are your thoughts on Watkins Glen, bud?
One of my favorite tracks. I love road courses. Really fun to drive.
All right. Anybody else you want to thank here before we let you go?
I want to thank my teammates, Brett Sura and Toll Owen, and Liam for putting on the sleeve.
All right, there you go. There's your second place finisher tonight, Ryan Andrew. Congratulations, bud.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so that was second place, Ryan Andrew. And joining us now, James Morgan. And James, you had a hell of a run, up 4 spots from where you started. Just that last restart kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah, man, the 43 Shenandoah Shine Martin Sport Chevy was full of bald eagles tonight. She was fast short run, and then there towards the end, I couldn't get my short run speed back. I don't know what was. It was probably all on me, but we squeaked in that P3 to get a podium finish, and it was a blast. I had fun tonight.
Well, in the closing laps of this one, you and Danny Wells just put on an amazing show, trading paint quite a bit between the two of you.
Oh yeah, good old Bristol, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be changing gears next week. The short track here at Bristol to those who like a little right turning with their racing and a lot of Armco. What are your thoughts going into Watkins Glen next week?
Gonna need a little bit of practice for a road course for sure.
Fair
and
enough.
then hopefully we don't self spin again like we did tonight on lap 3. Luckily I got to make up for it, but do that at Watkins Glen, there ain't no cautions.
Yeah, but there's a lot more places to try to recover.
Definitely true.
So, James, who do you need to thank tonight before we let you go?
Yeah, big thanks to Shenandoah Shine, everything they do, and all our community and Discord and iRacing and everything. We've had a blast. Glad we found this league, the ReSURGEnce League. These guys they're fast and they're clean and there's no drama. That is awesome about this league, and I've never had as much fun as I've had in this league. So definitely big thanks to them. And then Martin Sports, everything Scott Martin does helps us. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, James, congratulations on the podium here tonight. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at the Glen.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
Well, Frank, we got another one in the books.
Yep, and another one down, as you would say. Certainly a fun night here at Bristol. A lot of great racing, some long runs mixed in with a couple of close race in action, and yeah, just an overall, I don't think you can ask for much better here at Bristol.
I think the fact that we only had 14 cars led to the good racing that we saw here tonight. Any more cars, we probably would have had a lot more cautions.
Yeah, and I mean, we had, 6, maybe 7 here tonight, and I mean, even on the worst of standards, it's really not a bad race here at all.
No, because, I mean, we saw some great back-and-forth action. We saw a lot of battling going on throughout the field. A lot of give and take, and then, we didn't see too much tempers flaring.
No, I would say this was a rather pedestrian evening here.
If you can have a pedestrian evening at Bristol. I think they call it at the track walk, which they usually do the night before the day race.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's take a quick look at our finishing. What do you say?
I think that's a good idea.
Coming home in with the victory here tonight is third on the season, Chris Worrell, winning from the pole. Ryan Andrews started second, finished second after going a lap down early. James Morgan running out your top 3. Danny Wells, James Leach, and Carlin Forsyth running out your top 6. Toll Owens, Patrick Clapp, Austin Collins, and Dusty Burkhart rounding out your top 10.
And Dusty Burkhart, the first of the drivers to not finish on the lead lap. Brett Sierra, who we saw had his issue early, never really recovered from that. Nicholas Wing had a lot of issues late, never had a chance to recover from. And then Garrett Delph and Liam Irving. We heard what happened with Irving, some hardware issues for him, and Garrett Delph just pulling it off the track with just outside of 50 to go. Will round out the field.
So that is going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget to join us tomorrow afternoon for the ISNF Cup Series. It'll be Jason and myself in the booth for that one. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time start time for that one. But that's going to do it for us tonight from Bristol. For Mr. Frank Marchese, this is Tony Trapassa reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.